So once again, I did some more book shopping, and I think it's time to end this year with a book haul. Somehow my book haul video that I did a few months ago is like my best video from this entire year, so I thought we'd do it again. Even though I was on a book buying ban, it did not last as long as I had hoped it would, but honestly it's okay. I'm really excited about all the books that I got, so I'm just gonna get that out of the way so I don't say, I mean, I'm probably still gonna say every time I hold up a book that I'm like, oh, so excited to read it, because that's just how I feel about every single book that I pick up. Not all of these books are for me. A couple of these books I gave to like my mom, my dad, and my sister for Christmas. Since we live in the same household, I just kind of took them from the shelves so I could film this video. I'm gonna put them back after I show you guys what I got them. And then the rest of them are for me. I recently started working in a bookshop, which is fun. It's really fun to work in a bookshop, but really bad for my bank account. Thankfully, the bookshop sells both new and used books, so with my discount, I have gotten some good deals on some used books, which is helpful, but so that's been nice. I don't really have much else to say for this intro other than, hold on, I have my cup of tea as well, because what's a book video without a cup of tea? As a V, if you're new, my name is Victoria. I probably should have said that at the beginning of this video. So, you know, make yourself a cup of tea. Today I have, I believe this tea is called Christmas in Paris from the Stash Tea brand. It's one of my favorite brands of tea. Also, this is a slightly new filming setup. I usually will sit in a chair, so you see the same setup but from a higher level. But I'm kind of vibing with sitting on the floor and just talking to you guys about books. It just feels like it's a fun friend sit down and chat, and I really am liking sitting on the floor and talking to you guys. Let's just start off with, honestly, they're not in any specific order. I'm just gonna start with what's on top. So the first one that I got, I think I got this one last week. This is Little Woman. Little Woman has a special place in my heart. I watched the movie twice when it was in theaters, and then I also read the book. I unfortunately did not read the book before I saw the movie. I know I broke my own rule, but I have read the book once, and now I intend to read it every single year. It's just one of my absolute favorites, and there's just something about Little Woman that makes me want to collect them. So I have I had two, and this is my third edition of Little Woman that I have. It's so fun. It has it's like stamped in. It's not focusing, it's focusing on me. There we go. So like all of this is like stamped or like imprinted into the book, engraved, I guess. And then on the back, it has this as well. Hold on. There we go. On the back, it has this. And on the back, it has the saddest quote from Beth. And I just like, cried. Anyway, I saw this one in the bookstore that I work at, and it was a slow evening, and I started flipping through it again because I hadn't read this book in like a year. So I started reading like the first page, and I just, like, the book was mine. I just had to buy it. So I did, and it makes me so happy, and I'm gonna read this one most likely in January. I'm thinking this might be my first read of 2022. Next, if you watched one of my Vlogmas videos, I did a bookstore vlog, and one of the books that I got was Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I think after I finished the book that I'm currently reading, which is Call Me By Your Name, I am going to read this one. I love Colleen Hoover. 2021 was the year of reading Colleen Hoover books. So far I have read, I have them back here actually. I have read Verity here, and I recently read, oh, I should put this in the book haul. I just got this one too. It Ends With Us. I got this a few weeks ago, and I have already read this. So these are two new Colleen Hoover books to my shelf, and I have loved both books that I've read, being Verity and It Ends With Us. These ones are so good. I fly through her books. I read them in like a day, so very, very excited to read this one. I was planning to make this the last book that I read of 2021, but it might be probably the second book I read of 2022, and honestly, her books are just, I don't know, there's just something about her books that are so good. And I know she has a new one coming out in 2022, and I'm super excited to read that one. Next book that I got is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which has been super popular this year. I've read it. I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't my favorite necessarily, because I just didn't feel like it lined up with some of my own personal beliefs. I'm gonna do a review of this book on my Instagram, so you guys can check that out in case you're curious about my real and honest thoughts. It's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't think that the values that are discussed in this book just didn't match my own values. That's all I'll say on that. It was beautifully written. I am also currently listening to Daisy Jones and the Six on audiobook, and I really love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing, and I will most likely get Malibu Rising next year. Next is a YA, potentially children's. I don't know. This is The Mysterious Benedict Society. The show came out on Disney Plus this year, and I watched the entire show with my mom and my sister. Then I found out that there was a book series, so I want to read the books. I believe there's, oh wait, it says on the back, there's 5 books in the series. So this is the first one. I got this from the bookstore. It's a used copy and it was $4. It was a great deal on this. I think that this will just be a fun one. Ooh, there's a post-it in it. Oh, it's literally just a pink post-it. I thought there's like some fun message on it. Fortunately not. So I don't really read much YA, or I don't know if this is considered children's. Maybe it is. I used to read a lot of YA when I was more in that age group, and I read more like modern fiction, but I still love it. And I think that this will just be a fun, wholesome read, which is a good break between some of these other books that I have planned to read in 2022. I don't know if I've mentioned this ever before, but Louisa May Alcott is one of my favorite authors ever. I have a goal to read every single book that she has ever written. So when I was in the bookstore, I saw that we had just gotten this book in, and I immediately grabbed it before it could even be put on the shelves for the other people to look at. And this is A Long Fatal Love Chase by Louisa May Alcott. I'd never even heard of this book. I just saw her name and I snatched it up and bought it that evening. It was such a fun find because this wasn't something I was looking for. At the moment, I've only read Little Women and Eight Cousins. I really want to get the sequel to Eight Cousins, but it is so hard to find any other book other than Little Women in bookstores, and it's somewhat infuriating that I can't find her other books. So this was the most amazing find, and I am gonna keep my eyes out for the other books by her. Like, I know I could just go online and order it, but it's just so satisfying finding the book that you've been really looking for in a bookstore. I don't know, that maybe that's just me, but there's just something about like searching and then finally finding it instead of just taking like the short route and just like Googling it. Anyway, so excited to have this on my shelf. For Christmas, my mom surprised me with a couple books going along with the Louisa May Alcott trend. My mom got me Meg and Jo, which is a contemporary retelling of Little Woman. I'm so obsessed with Little Woman. I love everything about it, and I have read Jo and Laurie, which is another like contemporary retelling, kind of an extension of the story, I guess you could say. So I read that this year. Then I found out there's this contemporary retelling called Meg and Jo, and I believe there's a sequel that's Beth and Amy. If I really like this one, I'm definitely gonna get the sequel. I had told my mom that I wanted to read this way early in 2021, and I completely forgot about it until Christmas, and I was just so excited that she remembered because I had totally forgotten about it. So this was a really fun surprise, and something I'm really looking forward to read in 2022. I also got the little book of Cottagecore. If you watched the Vlogmas book shopping video, I actually bought myself this book, but I saved the receipt because, as it turns out, my mom had gotten me this book for Christmas. So I saved the one that she got me and I returned the one that I bought myself. I then ended up buying Call Me By Your Name, which I'm currently reading. Good. I love this cover. This is one of my favorite book covers I think I've ever seen. I love the colors, I love like the soft illustration, the black and white photo, the font. It's just, this is a work of art. All I have to say. So those are all the books that are for me to read. Now, on to the books that I got my family. This book I got for my sister. She randomly got into J.R.R. Tolkien and like Lord of the Rings stuff. So I found this one in the shop. So I got her the first one. This was like the movie cover. This just like doesn't appeal to me, but I know it's something that she really liked. So I was excited to find this copy for her, and I got it, and she was very excited to have it for Christmas. So my dad is a little bit hard to shop for Christmas, but I ended up getting him The Happiest Man on Earth, which is the story of an Auschwitz survivor. It's this one. We actually finished it this morning and absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited about that. Oh, I just realized that Heather Morris has a review about this book. She wrote The Tattooist of Auschwitz, which I read earlier this year, and that was one of my favorite books. I would say it's in like my top 10 books that I read in 2021. And then the last book that I got, this I got for my mom. She mentioned that she wanted Will, which is Will Smith's book, and this was actually really exciting for me because this was my first order from Book of the Month. Got that fun Book of the Month logo, so super excited to start ordering from Book of the Month. Looks like she's a little bit of the way through it. Don't want to mess that up. Actually, she forgot that she even asked for this book, so I was super excited to give this to her, and she gave me a book that I completely forgot about as well. So these are all of the books that I bought in the past couple weeks. A little book shopping to end off of this 2021 year. It's been a crazy year, but also books just make it better. That is all I have for today's video. If you like book haul videos, I have that one that I posted earlier this year. I will link it up here or maybe in the description. It'll be linked. You can go check that video out. If you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and comment down below. Comment down below what videos you want me to make in 2022. It can be either book-related videos or daily vlogs. I have some fun life changes coming up in 2022, so keep an eye out for vlogs. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of fun changes coming in 2022 that I know of, and I'm sure there's gonna be other stuff that's gonna be changing that I don't know of yet, which is super exciting, but also a little bit nerve-wracking, but mostly exciting. After all this talking, I'm gonna need a sip of tea. This might be the last video I post in 2021, and if it is, thank you guys so much for supporting me this year. I feel like this was the first year that I was really consistent with uploading, and I'm so happy that we have grown to what we have so far. Every time I get a subscriber, it's the most amazing thing ever. So thank you all so much for supporting my videos this year, and don't forget to come back for 2022 because we got some fun things planned. So if this is the last video of the year, I will see you guys next year. I hope that you end this year on a great note. Read a good book, clean out your closet, something like that. Do something to make yourself feel like you are ready for a fresh start. And even if you're not, don't worry about it. It'll all be all right. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.